Janine wasn't ready.
Okay, I'm ready. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Josh Hunkin, Fixing the World.
Okay, so we are now in chapter 5 of your book.
Good.
This kind of gets to the nucleus of what you were talking about. This is how you apply IP to problems like homelessness, crime punishment, DUIs, etc. So let's just get going.
Cool.
All right, can you provide more insights into the specific approach or idea you have developed for reducing drunk driving deaths and how you intend to use IP laws to bring it into fruition?
Yes, except that it's incomplete, right? So I'll give you some examples. So one of the things that we're working on right now is there's judges out in Lincoln County, Oregon, some of whom are placing jail time in front. If I say this, I influence what they're doing.
Don't say it then, just kind of hover on it.
Okay.
Very vague.
Let's say
Don't say Lynn County. There's
I
8
didn't. I said Lincoln County.
Oh, Lincoln County.
Yeah. Okay, so assuming there are no judges that exist in this world, and Oregon is an unreal place, there's differences. Okay, I'll use this as an example. City of Corvallis. If you are in the city of Corvallis and not on Oregon State University campus, and you shoplift, $20. Okay, you $20 thing that you stole. Actually, why don't you give me a thing? What's the thing? What's the thing that I stole? It's worth $20 or so.
It's worth $20.
Yeah.
A case of beer.
Case of beer. So I steal a case of beer, and I'm not on Oregon State University campus. The shopkeeper calls the police or the Corvallis Police Department. Those guys show up and they say, "My gosh, you've stolen this beer, and we can prove it." And you say, "Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I stole the beer." They give you a citation, which is a violation level citation, which means you can't go to jail. They send you over to the Corvallis Municipal Court, where you will be in trouble and you'll have to repay the price of the beer plus your civil penalty of like $250 and maybe $100 to the court when you enter a guilty plea, and you're done. No criminal record. If you are in the city of Corvallis, but you happen to be standing on OSU campus and you steal a case of beer, the Corvallis Police Department doesn't show up. Years ago, it would have been the Oregon State Police, but now it's OSU Police that show up. Well, OSU Police don't have an obligation to cite to the Corvallis Municipal Court. They don't have a financial incentive to cite to the Corvallis Municipal Court, so you get charged with theft of the 3rd degree. That is a Class C misdemeanor, punishable by up to 30 days in jail for doing exactly the same thing that the guy did 3 blocks down. If all the facts are the same, you get 2 totally different charges and 2 totally different outcomes. I can tell you from experience from the last 10 years, you're probably going to get a diversion agreement, which means you enter a plea of no contest or guilty, 80 hours community service, you pay your $350, you stay out of trouble for 6 months, and you get a dismissal of the crime, and then you can go and get it set aside if you want to get it set aside under Oregon law. So you may end up with no record at all, but you were possibly going to face some jail time. If you fail your diversion, you're going to face some potential jail time, and you get a criminal record. Same exact thing that occurred, it just happened to be a couple of blocks apart. So you can take a look at what outcomes you get, right? We've been doing that for 20 years. And you can take a look at data from people who were charged in the circuit court and people who were charged in the municipal court, and you can juxtapose which punishment had any effect on whether or not the person was likely to recidivate. You know, which of these people committed a worse crime, didn't commit a crime after that? How many more shoplifted after that? You can just compare raw data and make a determination as to what punishment, if any, is going to be effective at reducing the likelihood that this person at some point in the future is going to shoplift again or to do whatever else crime they might do.
Okay. I mean, you've seen a lot of that firsthand, you know, working with DUIs and around the school and campus.
Yeah.
You don't see any patterns of what works and what doesn't?
Anecdotal. I mean, I see patterns, but it's anecdotal knowledge, and we've been doing anecdotal knowledge for 500 years, and it's not getting us very far. So I may have a belief, but my belief is substantially less valuable than a set of data that indicates an outcome.
Well, if someone shoplifts once, do you see them doing it again? Is there like a repeat factor in there?
Completely depends on the person and why they're shoplifting. And honestly, that's how I personally would study it to try to figure out what is the motivation for shoplifting, is literally just ask the person, why'd you do it? And I get the advantage of doing that because I'm an attorney, so I get attorney-client privilege with the person. They can just be honest with me, and I can trust that they're being honest with me because they have no reason to lie to me. Now, do people lie to me? Yeah, they absolutely do. But I can get a pretty good, honest answer over a period of time. Why'd you do that, man? And you get to figure it out. I mean, you sort of know what the motivation is. And once you know what the motivation is, because people can commit the same crime for different reasons. And so if you know what the motivation is, maybe you can figure out how to get them to make a different choice at some point in the future. But anyway, as far as actually reaching outcomes, that's the stuff that you got to do. You got to actually look at, because at this point, I think that's going to be the faster way to get there. I might be wrong, but I think the faster way to get to an answer is take a look at the information we already have, organize it in a way that you can analyze it and see what outcome you're getting. You can juxtapose county over county, try to control for as many variables as you can about population and poverty and all those kind of things, and try to spit out what works and does anything work, right? And once you can figure that out, you've now got something that might have some better efficacy, where it may make sense to not have the guy pay a fine if he's poor and have him do something else, or not put him in jail for a should have known better crime, because that doesn't change the should have known better. It doesn't make him not an idiot. And so you can find those things that are actually having an impact on the outcome, and then you can develop theories about, okay, well, this theory, let's test it. You can go test that in the real world, and whether you like it or not, we do that with the Veterans Treatment Court, with a DUI intensive supervision program up in Multnomah. We test these different programs, but they're just the brainchild of some anecdotal knowledge from some judge somewhere is what you end up with. And you try to build these courts out and say, okay, well, are we getting better outcomes here? Drug treatment court. If you're getting better outcomes, why are you getting better outcomes? And then you can understand way more precisely what it is that you need to do to be able to effectuate a different result.
Okay, but what other factors come into play, like socioeconomic status, age? Is it all grouped together?
I can give you anecdotal knowledge and nothing more, because I have not been able to invest time, energy, and effort to get you a better answer. I can get you a better answer, but it's just going to take time and money.
Okay, so let's hear the anecdotal knowledge.
I think it's interesting. You want to know what my random opinion is about why?
You wrote this book, so you should have something you're basing all these answers on.
Theories on. The answer is the system, right? The system, the process by which, the how of fixing the world is the answer. That's what the answer is. It's not substantive in terms of all we got to do is go left and we're done and the world is fixed. Yay! It's never going to be that. It's how do we get to better solutions to our problems? That's the solution. So I hear you pushing back on me. You're saying, which I appreciate, by the way, you're saying it's your book. You've got to have some sort of an answer or some better secret knowledge. The better secret knowledge that I have is the true and honest recognition that I don't know the right answer, but I know how to get it.
Ooh. But how can we trust that you know how to get it if you don't even know what it would look like if it were applied?
When you juxtapose the outcomes from medical legal field as an example, you see that you get better results through a system where IP is applied. What's your favorite movie?
Hacksaw Ridge.
Who made it?
I don't know.
Was it made through capitalism, or did the government give somebody a grant?
Obviously capitalism, always. I mean,
obviously.
Are there circumstances where it's government grants?
Yeah, I think so. I think government grants create movies. I don't know. I would have to look something up. But I'm certain that there are commercials that are made by government grant. But anyway, your movie is created as a result of the net effect of IP. It's not made as the net effect of charity. It's not made as the net effect of government grant.
Okay.
So that's how and why I know it works.
Okay.
Because I know how I see the world around me.
How can governments and societies effectively evaluate and prioritize solutions to public issues based on their cost-saving potential and societal benefits, especially when dealing with limited resources and competing priorities?
It's just a guess, right? And your guess is going to be housed in the capitalist world, right? If you look at like EV companies that exist right now, electric vehicle companies, some of them are going to fail. But all those companies are people making a really good pitch and a really good guess and investing a lot of money that they think they're going to create the better vehicle. So you literally do exactly the same thing. I can make a guess. Well, my guess is that by saving lives, you're going to have your greatest cost reduction, because if you save a life, I can show that and again, I don't like reducing people to economic output, but I can sell it. And so because of that, if little Johnny is 18 years old and he dies, well, I can sell it to a government that, well, if little Johnny goes to work, little Johnny pays taxes. Little Johnny pays taxes, you make money there, government, so you've got a reason to invest this money to save little Johnny's life. And that is the idea in my head of how best to pick the ideas. But I'm not saying I'm perfect on picking the ideas. I'm right about how to fix the world.
Yeah.
I may not be right about that next step. And somebody way smarter than me may be able to figure that thing out. And they may be way better at it than I ever could be. And so, yeah, I don't pretend to know the answer on that.
Okay. At least you're honest. That's admirable.
It's useless to be dishonest. You're deluding yourself.